What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit this like button, ladies and gentlemen. This is hands down the most important topic in the precious metals world. And not only just the precious metals world, but we're talking about the economy. We're talking about the world itself, climate change, global warming. We're talking about electric vehicles, the new Green Deal. Because none of that is going to happen. You want to know why? We don't have enough silver for any of that. You really think we have enough silver to make the entire world go solar when the U.S. Mint couldn't even put together 13 million ounces to throw these coins out, but the global demand surpasses 1 billion ounces this year. And as the times go on in 2023, 2024, it's only going to be doubling or even tripling. No, there's not enough silver. That's silly. There's no possible way that every automobile company by the year 2030 is going to be electric. There's no possible way that the entire globe is going to be going solar. We just don't have enough silver. We're already in a silver shortage, and that hasn't even started yet. Why is nobody talking about that? I can understand why Joe Biden wouldn't understand logistics coming from, the silver aspect. It is a good thought. It's a good idea, but they got to understand this, and they have to sooner than later, because the more they push this, the more that people think this is going to happen, or they try to push it into motion, the bigger of a hole they're going to put themselves in. And where's that silver going to come from? Us. Where else is it going to come from? Space mining? Right? There's this asteroid that's going to be coming towards the Earth around 2026, has like $500 quintillion worth of precious metals. But do you really think by 2026 we're going to have the technology to mine an asteroid in space that's flying billions of miles per hour? No. So what are we going to do? Innovate mining technology out of the ground? No. They're going to take our silver just like they took our gold when they needed to. They've confiscated our gold several times throughout history, not just the United States, but several of the countries. I'm talking about 10 plus times. They have literally confiscated people's gold because they need it. Silver would be a different situation, but when we're talking about global warming, when we're talking about the entire world going solar for a better purpose, to go green, I could definitely see that happening, especially looking at why they confiscated people's gold in the past. So make sure you like this video. I'd love for you to participate. I think it's going to be a great video. We got a couple articles. We got this first one is a silver supply deficit inevitable. The second one's kind of going over the U.S. Mint, then the demand surpassing 1 billion ounces. So I think it's going to be a great video. I'm doing a 50,000 subscriber silver giveaway. December 1st is the announcement video, so make sure you enter. It is live. So silver is both a monetary metal and a store of wealth, and as such, older than gold, in fact, and a metal that is critical to a multitude of industrial applications. And silver is not only historically cheap relative to gold, but it's headed into a major supply deficit. And that's what people don't realize. There's not crazy premiums on gold right now. Gold is sold around spot because it's not scarce. But silver, check the premiums out on silver. Silver's scarce, gold isn't. For most of civilized human history, the gold to silver ratio has been below 16 to 1. Back in the day, it was like 2.5 to 1. 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold. Back then, they saw silver was magical because it can purify water. You could put silver in milk, it would make it last longer. The way it responded with other elements, silver was literally magic to them. And then it was 8 to 1. For thousands of years, because that's the rate it comes out of the ground, which I still think should be the rate today. That's what it comes out of the ground. Then it was 16 to 1 for thousands of years until 1930. FDR got in office, changed the gold to silver ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1, single-handedly devaluing silver. Regardless, though, the ratio of ounces of silver pulled out of the ground currently is around 9, right? It comes out of the ground roughly 8, 9 to 1. During the Roman Empire, it was 8 to 1. From the 1600s to 1900s, the gold to silver ratio was just over 16 to 1. Currently, it's 75. The only conclusion to draw this is that silver is one of the most undervalued hard assets in the world right now. And not one of it is. If you look at how important, silver is literally the most important thing in the world right now, especially when we're talking about the future of society, the future of the world. Silver is literally the most important thing. That is literally going to be the one thing that does not make the entire world go global, that does not make the newest, latest Tesla come out. It's silver, nothing else. It's silver. People don't realize that, but when they do, they're going to be wishing they bought it when we were. The only conclusion to draw from this is that silver is one of the most undervalued assets in the world. So, when we're looking at the U.S. Mint, the U.S. Mint used to produce, 30, 40 million ounces per year, silver coins. But recently, they've only been pushing around 13 million. And by the way, when they throw those numbers out, they're guesstimating the next year. So in 2020, they guesstimated that there would be 13 million ounces or whatever it was for the upcoming year. They were extremely wrong, and there was a huge shortage, limited mintage on the Type 1 and Type 2 Eagles. They had to make a 1 million mintage supply from the San Francisco Mint at the end of the year, but still, 13 million ounces, they're still having to make limited mintage numbers for. 13 million ounces, and this is still news. There's still other, I just made a video the other day, the Royal Mint is saying that they're having a hard time finding silver blanks. We're talking about Perth Mint. We're talking about a lot of different mints cannot get their hands on silver. And the United States Mint was unable to meet surging demand for its gold and silver bullion coins. And it started a lot around the Wall Street silver movement. I mean, that was when JM Bullion's site had so much traffic. The site crashed. We're talking about everywhere silver was sold out. But then things got a little interesting because silver did pull back up, and I don't think that wave ever left. Wall Street Silver is still growing. They have hundreds of thousands of members now. Back when that first original push started, they only had around 20, 30,000. There's a lot of new silver stackers, and if you don't believe me, look in the comments on my videos. Silver is becoming a lot more mainstream than I think people realize. So sales of gold bullion rose around 258% last year, while silver was up 28%, the Mint said. And it's interesting because in 2020, silver was the number one performing asset. So silver was the number one. It outperformed gold. Gold was number 5. Amazon, all those were other, but silver was literally the number one performing asset in 2020. So they talk about the Wall Street silver stuff, and this was with the shipping delays, and they talk about GameStop obviously, but the silver coins and bars that are available have acquired significantly higher premiums. And we're talking about premiums out of this world. We saw earlier the Dutch Bank, Bank of America, Saxo Bank, Goldman Sachs all talking about $50 silver by the end of 2021. And guess what? They're right. Silver's $50. Not spot price, but if you want to go buy a physical ounce of silver, it's $50. Go on Amazon and try to go buy a physical ounce of silver. You're going to pay $50. So if a digit on a screen is telling you what it theoretically is, but that means nothing to what you have to actually pay for it, then what's the real price? And think about as silver becomes more scarce, how much bigger the premium could get and will get. When we talk about $100 silver, that doesn't mean we're talking about spot price. That could mean itself we're just talking about how much it costs to get your hands on a physical ounce, because spot price is irrelevant. Spot price versus the physical price of silver is becoming detached, and it's happened before, and I can only see it getting much worse, much worse. So right now they're talking about this is the latest attempt to buy some traders and persuade more investors to buy physical silver coins. And they believe that large banks are manipulating the price of silver, and that buying up physical silver will force a shortage to push up the price. And it doesn't even matter. You don't need to gather a whole bunch of people around to buy silver to corner the market to push up the price. Like the Hunt brothers did in 1980, they cornered the market, pushed silver from $9 to $50. Then they banned silver. It's called Silver Rule 7. The government literally banned silver because the Hunt brothers owned up to 77% of the global silver supply. It was all on the COMEX, and they turned all of those contracts into physical delivery, obviously, with the Hunt brothers, three brothers, owning 77% of the global silver supply. That was a huge problem because they still need silver back then, just like they do now. There was no silver, so they made a law on the spot banning silver. You couldn't buy silver, you had to sell it. You couldn't sell it to your friends, you had to sell on the COMEX. Everyone panic sold, which led to Silver Thursday when the price cut down. But regardless though, it doesn't take we don't need a whole bunch of people to rally up and buy silver. Silver isn't just a monetary metal, isn't just an investment metal. Silver is needed for so many things as it is. That itself is going to be probably the most influential thing. I mean, have you I remember reading the article that Mike Maloney sent to Elon Musk, and he was talking about his Elon Musk's sales goal for Tesla by 2030. And Mike Maloney says if you buy silver at $25 an ounce, it'll be something like, what did he say? Something like $785 million. But if you wait until silver is $100 an ounce, it will be $3.145 billion. And you got to think about not just Elon Musk, you got to think about every other company as well. You got to think about the entire world. He's just on the forefront, but when people get in after the curve, right, the people that aren't buying it right now, they're going to be kicking themselves in the butt, just like the people that didn't buy Bitcoin when I told them to buy it when it was $1,200. Now it's sitting at $67,000. You got to get in before the curve. When everyone's talking about it, it's too late. It's too late. When it's mainstream, it's too late. You got to get in before. So, this is very interesting. I do still think that things haven't even started yet. That's the craziest thing. 2023, 2024 is when we're really going to start to see the Green New Deal, 5G, everything along those lines. I mean, every electrical vehicle company is going electric by the year 2030. So we're talking about 5 years until we really need a lot of silver, but there's already a shortage. So imagine by then what things would look like. The global silver market will see demand reach 1.29 billion ounces this year. And that's the first time it breached a billion ounces since 2015. And the recovery in silver in its industrial demand from the pandemic will see a segment achieve a new high of 524 million ounces. So we estimate that photovoltaic demand will rise by 13%. And it is funny because when I was making the video that the Royal Mint was having a very hard time finding silver to make their coins, a couple days later they post, actually no, it was a couple days earlier, they posted an article saying that they're starting to scrap silver out of out of, I forget what it was, laptops or something. So you can see that people are starting to figure out ways to try to recover silver. Most gold is melted, rescrapped, reused, recycled. Silver, though, is thrown away. So this is a new high and highlighting silver's key role in the green economy. But do you guys really think that the Green New Deal is going to work? I mean, why is nobody talking about this? Why is nobody talking about this? I mean, we're in the middle of a very serious silver shortage, and we're talking about the entire world going green and electric vehicles. It's not possible. We don't have enough silver. Why is nobody talking about that? So the report also noted robust investment demand, with interest in physical bullion expected to increase 34%, or by 64 million ounces to 263 million ounces. Growth began from, the Wall Street silver stuff, and then it went over, into a lot of the stuff with India. It only got worse. And then paper demand for silver is also expected to increase in 2021. And then you have the dollar index, stock market volatility. I mean, there's a lot of, it's like literally the perfect storm is here. The stars have aligned. So, I do see, looking at the supply side, Metals Focus said that mine production is forecasted to increase by 6% to 829 million ounces. Now, mining supply is very important to look at, but is it enough? I made a video probably a month or two ago, covering the below ground supply of silver versus the above ground supply of silver versus global production, and when we will literally run out of silver, and that's 2030. Gold, I think it's around 2036 or something, and the article showed oil, every single metal and anything you could imagine, but silver was the first. So I definitely see a lot of innovation that's going to have to be kicking up in the silver world if we want this to be even possible, to be even somewhat realistic. See, this recovery is largely the result of most mines being able to operate at full production rates throughout the year. So 1 billion ounces is just the start, and that's what I was just talking about. That's just the start. Right now we're seeing consequences of trying to smooth our economic system. The result is higher inflation, and it doesn't seem to be very transitory. And then that represents 40% of all silver mined in the US. Baker added that he expects silver demand to continue to grow and sees the potential of 2 billion ounce market in the next 30 years. There's no doubt that he said 2 billion ounce market. There's no doubt that with the desire to have clean energy, the demand for silver is going to continue to increase, and increase probably at a much faster rate than we've seen in the past. With all that demand, silver is more expensive. But not only silver is more expensive, it also means that silver is going to be harder to get. And not just harder to get. Producers turn into the consumers, and the consumers turn into the producers. Do you really think that there will be enough silver to make all this work? If you think about a sci-fi movie in the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, do you think that that's possible? I genuinely want you all to answer that. So anyways, to put the demand growth into perspective, Baker said the world would need to see 7 to 10 new mines, the equivalent size of its Green Creek in southeast Alaska. The mine is forecasted to produce 10 million ounces of silver this year. It is one of the largest primary silver producers in the world. And I like how he kind of hinted towards, like if we don't see something change, or some type of uptick in this, then things are going to get sticky. And imagine the type of backlash that Joe Biden would get if if he says that the reason that the new Green Deal fell through was because of this metal called silver. People would not understand that. They don't understand that. It wouldn't make sense, right? We are literally investing into something that is the most important thing in the world, that makes the world go round, and it has for thousands of years. Watch any type of ancient movie or whatever. They're all talking about gold and silver. Anything for thousands of years. It's been the most valuable thing has been gold and silver. And it still is, and it always will be for thousands of years in the future. I mean, and that's because nothing can replace it. There's a reason. Gold and silver isn't valuable just because it's shiny. Gold, kind of. Silver, though, is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, even light sensitivity. Nothing compares to silver, and it never will. So, like this statement says right here, the only conclusion to draw from this is that silver is one of the most undervalued hard assets in the world right now, and it always has been. It's always been undervalued. Silver is more valuable than gold. Silver does so much more than gold. Silver is so much more essential than gold, even if it comes out of the ground at a lower supply or at a greater supply. That means nothing to how much to what it does in the world and how effective it is and how efficient it is. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. I post daily videos. I'm going to start posting 2 videos again, so stay tuned for that. We got a lot of good stuff coming. I'm really excited. I'm going to be starting to branch out, doing some different types of content. I think you are all going to like this as we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Make sure you subscribe. Who's going to be in the 100,000 subscriber club? If you're watching this video, you have a chance. And also, if you're watching this video right now, I want to thank you for sticking around this long. Most people click off the video within 2-3 minutes thinking they know everything, but you stuck around, wanted to get every single piece of information that shows a lot about your character, which is going to translate into your strategy. So yeah, pat yourself on the back as well. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.